शर्म नहीं आती है आपको? शर्म करें।
बदतमीजी है।
आप देख क्यों रहे हैं मुझे? आप जितना भी अमेरिकन प्रोपेगेंडा ईरान के ऊपर कर दें, वो लोग उधर बैठ के उनको अवार्ड्स दे रहे हैं क्योंकि उनकी मूवीज इतनी फैबुलस है। बॉलीवुड इज probably the greatest PR machine for India.
You had no idea who Shahrukh Khan कौन है?
No.
So I presume you called her back.
She said, if you don't know who Shahrukh Khan is, you do not deserve to make a movie. And there are 60-foot billboards of Shahrukh Khan, the man that I've just met, on the top of a mountain. मैंने शाहरुख को फोन किया, मैंने कहा, शाहरुख, I don't think I have the budget for this.
Sufi culture आपने experience किया लाहौर में throughout this journey. Did you find the same Sufi culture in India or was it different? क्या पाकिस्तानी men का दिमाग खराब है?
Hey, I don't know what it is.
मुझे तो जी पूछा था मैं डॉक्टर बंगश से, उन्होंने मुझे कहा था कि पाकिस्तानियों का DNA खराब है. Like a manufacturing defect लगता है उनको. But Shaan did not happen either.
Unfortunately.
What happened there? क्या हुआ? Shaan क्यों नहीं?
So जब मैं वापस आ गई with the Shahrukh drama behind us.
ठीक, हमने फैसला कर लिया कि too expensive है तो हो ही नहीं सकता.
And then people told me कि तुम शान को ले लो, शान को. अब this is the same problem again. Shaan साहब came into movies when I had left. मुझे पता ही नहीं था शान कौन है. Sevi is going to kill me about this interview. By the way. I'm like, Sevi, who is this guy? Kamaj. Oh my God. This is the person you've just cancelled the meeting with.
Oh God.
I'm like, oh no. Because women actually rule Pakistan, you people just will let you get away with things. This is the reality. I actually just showed reality. There wasn't anything different than the environment that जिसके अंदर मैं बड़ी हूँ.
अब शायद हमारी जिंदगी में बुशरा बीबी आ गई हैं.
They went more कि ये पाकिस्तान नहीं है. पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो पॉवर्टी है आप वो क्यों नहीं दिखा रही हैं? ओ भाई वो दूसरी मूवी होगी. This is not that movie. And saying this is Pakistan, this is Pakistan. वो कोई हमारे लिए नहीं बता.
हमारी कहानियाँ है कौन सी?
हमारी कहानियाँ बहुत हैं. There's a lot of tales to tell.
हीर रांझा?
ठीक. नहीं.
ससी पुन्नू?
नहीं.
कौन सी कहानी?
भाई, just look at the women's movement in this country. Ordinary public could afford to go to the cinema.
ठीक.
आप उनको कहें जरा आप आर्ट्स को सपोर्ट करते हैं.
देखिए जी, आर्ट्स वैसे भी इस्लाम के खिलाफ है. हम कैसे सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं इन चीज़ों को?
बिगेस्ट अपसेट इज कि मैंने पंजाबी की मूवी बनाई और वो पंजाब में नहीं देख सका. मैंने लव लेटर बनाया लाहौर के लिए और लाहौर में एक्सेप्ट फॉर लवर्स.
Hey you guys, today we're here with Ayesha Khan and there is so much star power in the studio कि I have to put my shades on because हमारे सामने बुत है या खुदा देखा ना जाए.
Hi, thank you. Thank you.
Ayesha, you are here because you are, in my view, the first female director of any Pakistani movie that is shot entirely in English.
Entirely in English, correct. Not the first female director.
Not the first female director, but the first female director of a film that's shot in English.
Yes.
अब मुझे बताइए आपका सफर शुरू कहाँ से हुआ? Mount Holyoke?
Mount Holyoke, no. Actually, I left the country. इधर लाहौर से मैं जब निकली थी, I got a scholarship to a place called the United World Colleges.
Right.
And that was in Victoria, British Columbia.
ठीक.
And वो एक बहुत competitive scholarship थी, which was all Pakistan, about 2,500 students at the time. And basically you're going to represent Pakistan.
ठीक.
With about 88 different countries there.
ठीक.
But just a student body of 200 people. So that's how I got out of the country. And then udhar se phir I went to Mount Holyoke, studied theatre and religion. From there I went to RADA, Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. Ended up in New York City, did courses in filmmaking, and I guess that's where the journey to the films began.
So यहाँ पे पहुँच के आपने फैसला किया जी अब मैंने फिल्म बनानी है सूफीज़म पे. It's going to be your first production.
जी.
On a very touchy subject.
I don't think it's touchy at all.
No, not at all.
It's not touchy at all.
Okay.
आपके 40 saints buried हैं इधर लाहौर के अंदर, ये touchy कैसे हो सकता है?
You're right.
We've all grown up with it.
We all.
हम सारी उनकी poetry सुनते हैं, सारी उम्र सुनते रहे हैं, कहानियाँ सुनते रहे हैं. You know, I don't find it touchy.
I agree.
I find it very realistic to a life living experience.
You are absolutely right. That was, I think, the experience in Lahore जो कि शायद हमें आज से 20 साल 40 साल पहले मिलता था. But don't you feel कि लाहौर में इस वक्त एक air of conservatism है compared to what it used to be 20, 50, about 30 years ago?
Yes, and we all know where that started.
I know. Zia?
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
Yes.
What were you doing Zia times?
I don't know. I'm only 33, so
I know,
really wasn't born at that time. But अगर आप insist करते हैं तो फिर मैं बताती हूँ कि ज़िया टाइम के अंदर क्या हो रहा है.
अच्छा, हाँ.
ज़िया टाइम के अंदर ये हो रहा था कि एक हफ्ते के अंदर सारी आंटियाँ जो रेगुलर जीन्स बेल बॉटम्स का फैशन था तब पहन रही थी, एक हफ्ते के अंदर वो शलवार कमीज पहनने लग गई
एकदम.
Literally, it was overnight.
ये cultural change.
And that's a frivolous way of putting it. But
Okay.
it's a very snapshot of reality at that time. That change was that quick. Of suddenly we went from being Pakistan to the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. And we were all supposed to behave a little bit differently.
And when you say the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, you mean Islamic in the real sense, जो कि एक idea आता है कि ये real sense of Islam है, एक बंदे का vision जो कि हमें दे दिया गया.
No, I don't know whether we want to go into that depth. We suddenly were Pakistan से Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and that's it.
Right, मगर Islamic Republic तो 55 में हो गए थे ना, when the constitution was changed कि भाई अब ये वो constitution बनेगी with Islamic.
So in that sense, I agree with you. Yes, this was suddenly Ziaul Haq's vision of what
Ziaul Haq's vision जो हुआ था, right? Yeah. That made us the Islamic Republic. But now, literal Islamic Republic तो 55 पहली constitution के में कहा था जी वे now the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. ज़िया के दौर के बाद जो असरात हुए हमारे culture पे, उसके बाद a movie like Kashf. How does that emerge?
It emerges because I'd written a short story in college and suddenly found it.
क्या मतलब?
Bored in New York. I was like, oh my God, ये तो बहुत अच्छी short story है, इसकी तो मैं पूरी movie कह सकती हूँ. So I wrote the movie in 2 months.
No way.
Yeah.
क्या मतलब? You like started writing?
I literally had written a short story. You've seen the film,
yes,
right? So there's that वो जो scene नहीं है अंदरून शहर के अंदर जब वो मिलते हैं औरत को और वो कहती हैं आप क्या ढूंढ रहे हैं. Literally, that's the short story. It's about 8 pages. ठीक. उसको जब मैं पढ़ी थी, and I was in New York, and I've been in New York for close to 25 years now. I suddenly had such a visual sense of being in that space in the Andaroon Shahar that I said, there is a story here and I need to explore it. Ke ho kya raha tha udhar. And udhar se literally the script came to me and it took me about 2 months to write it.
और 2 महीने में आपने complete script was done.
Yeah.
Script के बाद आपने फैसला किया कि आपको एक roles fulfill करने हैं. कुछ लोगों को आपने किसी roles में डालना था.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. Achha, you have to understand that because I left very early. I left at the age of 16 and a half.
16?
16 and a half के अंदर high school चली गई, फिर उधर से college किया, फिर stayed in New York City, started 2 businesses.
Right.
You know, one business was already started, the film production company, starting at that time.
Right.
So I've been out of the country by that time for a good long spell.
Right.
Back and forth, of course, coming for the summers and Decembers and what have you. लेकिन मुझे जो सिनेमा तो इधर बिल्कुल ही कपट हो गया था ना. Lollywood was not something that the masses were going to watch it.
Right.
But I hadn't seen the latest Lollywood version of what had happened. So in my head, the only stars so that we kind of still knew were Amitabh Bachchan and that whole lot.
Right.
From the 70s, 80s का जो Bollywood.
ठीक.
So अब ढूंढना था कि अब actors हैं. मैंने फोन किए बहुत इधर. मैंने कहा Lollywood है and there's some dramas going on.
ठीक.
इतने में मैंने एक मूवी देखी जिसके एक्टर मुझे बहुत पसंद आए.
Okay.
Usman, don't laugh. You're going to laugh.
नहीं, I'm just ask. Movie कौन सी देखी आपने? Ashoka. ये जो 2002 में आई थी.
Yes. And then I called up my British producer and I said, I really like this actor. Maybe we can approach him. ये जो Indian actor है, I think इनका नाम है Shahrukh Khan.
You had no idea कि Shahrukh Khan कौन है?
No.
Oh, wow. So what did your producer say?
She hung up the phone on me.
I see. ठीक. Makes sense. So I presume you called her back.
She said, if you don't know who Shahrukh Khan is, you do not deserve to make a movie.
Yes, I agree with that. I mean,
you do? You agreed with that?
Like, really? Shahrukh Khan is the absolute god of Bollywood and cinema and
I agree.
Arab bande jo hain, I mean, unki heartbeat, right?
So what did happen is that she thought the story was so amusing that there's a woman in New York going about to make her first movie and wants to approach Shahrukh for the role. That she called up an Indian colleague of hers who's also a producer, who called up Mahesh Bhatt, who thought it was so hysterical, called up Shahrukh Khan.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
And Shahrukh very kindly said, oh, that's highly entertaining. Why don't we invite her to India?
Okay.
I would like to meet her.
All right.
So suddenly I had an invite to come to India.
Fantastic.
So I come to Pakistan and I'm telling everybody in Lahore, okay, I have a meeting with Shahrukh Khan. And they're like, what?
Right. You have a meeting with Shahrukh Khan?
I was like, I'm going to meet him for my film. I was very serious about it.
Take.
So they made me see 2-3 other films, 2 other films, of course, I think at that time, because I literally was in town for 2 days before going to India to meet him.
Take.
Or paired, I went and met him.
So how did your meeting go with Shahrukh Khan? How did you get the...
Well, obviously he could tell in 1 nanosecond I really did not know who he was.
Oh, God.
And forgave me for it.
Take.
So I land in Mumbai and hamari meeting thi right after, as soon as I'd landed. And I get a call from him saying, I apologize, but my shoot zara delay ho gayi hai, so I'm stuck here a little bit outside of Mumbai, and if you don't mind, could you drive there? So I said, all right, that's fine. And my producer was with me, the male producer, who had now taken an interest in this adventure, as we called it. So we hop in the car and we go all the way outside of the outskirts of Mumbai. कोई 3.5 hours लग गए.
3.5 hours of driving.
हाँ.
Oh wow. Okay.
2 बज गए रात के.
ठीक
है. उधर हम पहुंचे तो it's like a total Hindu village, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
It was very exotic to see all of that. And I am in India and I'm excited about that. And of course I'm interested in meeting him at this point. And उधर जब हम लोग निकले गाड़ी से बाहर, there was this wonderfully tall 6'4" Pathan gentleman with 2-3 other people standing there, highly excited. And he said, I am Shahrukh's bodyguard and I'm so happy to meet you. I'm so happy to meet a Pakistani. I mean, it was just, just wonderful kind of reception. So मैंने कहा, okay, हम मिलें जाकर. उसका जी, लेकिन आपने जूते किस तरह के पहने हुए हैं? And obviously I kind of changed to try to make myself look a little bit better. क्योंकि उस वक्त भी direct flight नहीं थी.
Acha.
You had to go to Dubai, sit there for 7 hours in transit, and then fly.
Dubai, Mumbai, Dubai.
Yeah, exactly. And it was very late at night. So he's looking at my shoes, and I wasn't wearing heels or anything, but he's like, well, we have to go up the mountain. I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay.
Tick.
And we are literally, there were parts of the trail up that you had to kind of hang on to.
Oh, wow. Was this when he was filming that movie, Swadesh?
Swadesh.
Right.
And it is that scene, Jo generator,
I see.
Wo cabin thi, and they were shooting that scene. And while I was going up the mountain, there were what I thought at that moment, because it is 2 a.m, dead bodies on the mount.
Oh my God.
And I got a little worried. मैंने कहा इधर क्या हो रहा है? ये इतनी bodies क्यों लेटी हो? ये क्या हो रहा है? There were bodies everywhere. नहीं ये extras हैं. वो nap कर रहे हैं.
I see. Okay, take. They're waiting for. Okay.
Yes. So we make it up. And we are in literally वो जो scene है, the generator. And there's 3 kursis and a naked light bulb. And they said please बैठें and चाय वाय का इंतजाम हो रहा था and what have you. And Shahrukh pops in through a window. There is no other way to say it otherwise.
He comes in through the window.
एक window थी, उसकी glass नहीं लगा हुआ था, and he just kind of walked in through the window.
Fantastic.
And I think he's quit now, but he said, oh my God, do you have a cigarette? Because I'm all out. And that was the beginning of the conversation. I was there, I think, 2 ghante, 2.5 hours, and we just hit it off. I have been in the industry for about 15 plus years. I understand that within the first 5 minutes of meeting me, he knew that I hadn't faked it, that I didn't know who he was. And because I went flat into, the pitch, कि ये movie है, इसमें इसके अंदर कोई dance गाना नहीं है. So it cannot be a Shahrukh Khan movie, it's going to be an Ayesha Khan film. And he's just sitting there looking at me, कि बाकी इस बुद्धू को कोई idea ही नहीं है.
Right. Think.
At all.
Think.
Which was actually great because then we just interacted as two artists.
Fantastic.
And he was absolutely mind-bogglingly generous with his time, with the questions he asked.
Right.
Lahore mein shoot hogi, kidhar, where are you thinking? And I told him it's very Lahore-based.
Right.
He told me that he was very interested in coming at that point to Pakistan. And हमारी बड़ी दोस्ती भी हुई थी between the countries. Because his only living relatives actually are in Peshawar. So that was, I was like, wow, that's remarkable and you must visit and what have you. So we had a wonderful time.
Right.
And सारे numbers exchange हो गए, and he said, but the only problem is कि मैं अपनी schedule देखूंगा because, I wanted to shoot within the next couple of months, go into production.
Production.
He's like, I have to look at my schedule.
Sure,
take your time.
No
problem. Here's a copy of the script, read it, all good. And he was kind enough to say, okay, trailer hai niche, please up, if you want, you must be tired and everything, but I advise you, traffic bahut zyada hai, you should make your way to Bombay. I said, okay. Hum chale gaye.
Take.
Or I slept, I think, for an hour on the way back.
Right.
And then when I wake up, it's sunrise in Mumbai. And there are 60-foot billboards of Shahrukh Khan, the man that I've just met, on the top of a mountain. And I'm not talking one billboard.
Right.
I am surrounded by billboards.
Of Shahrukh Khan.
Of Shahrukh Khan.
Right. It makes sense. It's his city.
And I freaked out and I woke up the producer. I said, Sevi, हमारे पास इनकी सिक्योरिटी के पैसे हैं बजट के अंदर. He was like, मैं कब से तुम्हें कह रहा हूँ, this is not going to happen.
It might happen. It might happen in the future.
Inshallah, it will happen in the future. So फिर उस रात मैंने शाहरुख को फोन किया. मैंने कहा, शाहरुख, I don't think I have the budget for your security. He's like, no, Ayesha, we'll figure it out. I said, no, Shahrukh, I don't think so. So next movie.
So जो रोल आप envision किया था शाहरुख के लिए,
जी,
वो end में किसने play किया?
Now that is a very interesting question, and I have to actually give you a little bit more detail. Because the movie and the version is not the script that I wrote.
That's interesting. Okay, so it's changed.
It's changed, and it changed for a very real reason. जो actual original script थी, it was about a woman going through this journey.
The journey of enlightenment, the journey of Sufism, जो भी एक path.
The seeking the path. ठीक है ना? That was a woman, and the person she keeps seeing was a man who's leading her towards,
वो guide or a path, murshid or take.
Exactly. At that point in Pakistan, we didn't have that many trained actresses.
I see. Okay.
We had a lot of people doing dramas.
Right.
They were very hesitant to do movies.
Interesting.
Because वो एक Lollywood का जो चल रहा था, there were two different industries completely.
ठीक है.
And they wouldn't overlap at all, right? So it's very hard for me to बहुत auditions की, बहुत लोगों ने कहा कि take somebody new.
Right.
बहुत कुछ हुआ.
Right.
It just wasn't clicking.
Just wasn't clicking.
It just was not clicking. Because the lead role is the lead role. This person had to carry the film. And I couldn't find anybody of that caliber to carry the movie. Because you do have to have a certain, for lack of a better word, star quality.
Right.
ठीक है?
Right.
Which was why Shahrukh and Ashoka, I was like, dude.
Star quality.
Star quality.
ठीक सही. उसको ले आओ यार.
इनको ले आओ. Right.
Right.
So I really had to sit down and be like, what's going on here? What's not clicking?
Right.
तब मैंने बैठ के मुझे literally एक aha आया one night. I was in Lahore. That you know what? It'll be easier if the story is about a man and the woman is just coming and guiding him. Because that's a much smaller role. It's a very important role.
Right.
But it's a much smaller role.
Right.
Than the lead character who's literally in almost every scene.
Right.
Right? So वो जब मैंने switch कर दिया, things started falling into place. And I got a wonderful actress who was supposed to be in the role, and you know, Shahrukh hadn't happened, and then we get to the next star,
Right.
Shaan.
But Shaan did not happen either.
Unfortunately.
What happened there? क्या हुआ? Shaan क्यों नहीं?
So जब मैं वापस आ गई with the Shahrukh drama behind us.
ठीक हमने फैसला कर लिया कि too expensive तो हो ही नहीं सकता.
And then people told me कि तुम शान को ले लो, शान को. अब this is the same problem again. Shaan साहब came into movies when I had left. मुझे पता ही नहीं था शान कौन है.
Right. ठीक.
So मेरी उनके साथ meeting set up हुई. फिर मुझे किसी ने आके दिखाई बहुत सी Lollywood उनकी films.
Right.
पूरी movies नहीं, but you know, like.
Right. Clips and you know.
I said I am not sure.
Okay.
That this can work.
I see.
So मैंने meeting cancel कर दी, and I was very मायूस कि अब, you know, what am I doing? Like, maybe I need to go back to New York. नहीं, reject नहीं किया. Meeting cancel की.
Meeting cancel. बाद में देखते हैं.
At the same time, एक video निकला at that time, music video called Command.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
That was so good.
That was beautiful.
जी.
So अब वो video लगा हुआ है TV के ऊपर, मैं देख रही हूँ, and I'm calling up Bua Sevi. Sevi is going to kill me about this interview, by the way. I'm like, Sevi, who is this guy? Kamaj. She's like, oh my God. This is the person you just canceled the meeting with.
Oh God.
I'm like, oh no. So then I said, please, please, please set up a meeting again. We meet, and turns out that Shaan Saab ne Shaan rakha hua naam, but I have known him from a different name, and because we all grew up in Lahore. He's an HSonian.
Right.
He's literally my classmate.
How could it?
Because I was in LGS. And
अच्छा.
at that point, LGS and HSN की जो एक class होती थी.
Right.
You kind of knew everybody. So that was like a shock. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
You know. So he was very supportive. He was very interested in the movie.
I see.
And ये बननी ही बननी है, and anything you need, you are going to do this.
Good.
Because he felt that the industry needed to be shook up.
Right.
And this was a way forward that would be an independent film.
Right.
Somebody coming without any baggage from New York City, and, you know, let's go forward and do it.
Right.
So that's where we were.
And again, the subject you're tackling is one man's journey to discovery of, you know, his own spirituality, his own essence, his own view of the world. Why Sufism? Why do you tackle that particular subject? Is it because of a cultural background? Is that because something you were already interested in?
This is something we have literally taken for granted in our lives. हर family जो लाहौर के अंदर जो रहते हैं, जो लाहौरी हैं. I'm a total Lahori. Born and bred here.
ठीक.
My parents, my mother was also. My father was not. But those of us who grew up here, it was something that was all around us.
हवा में था कि
हवा में भी था, नानी की कहानियां भी थी. नानी ने डिसाइड किया कि I don't think I should even tell you because thank God she wasn't able to get her way. नानी ने डिसाइड किया कि मेरा निकनेम बुल्ले शाह है.
Oh my God, बुल्ले की जाना में कौन? Okay, ठीक. नानी ने
My
डिसाइड
youngest khala is called Shibli.
अरे माशा, very nice. That's very nice.
You know, like she was that into what we are trying to call Sufism.
बिल्कुल जी, बिल्कुल.
You know, that she actually nicknamed
बुल्ले शाहिद शिबली.
Yeah.
ठीक.
I mean, so it was, then you heard the stories, na? Right. Why Bulleh Shah and what? You were growing up with this.
Right.
So it wasn't something that was alien to us.
Right.
It was something very comforting to us. And not to mention the qawwalis and, you know, the poetry all around you. It was just something you grew up with.
Right. Right. देखिए इस सिलसिले में वो दाता अली हजवेरी ने बताया था कि इश्क ही आपको सही राह दिखाता है.
Yeah.
So, is there a romantic element in the film itself?
No.
Why not?
Sort of indicated at, because again back to casting.
Okay,
we won't get into it because it gets very complicated. I go into pre-production. Shaan is in the movie, and I do have another business in New York City.
Right.
And unki call aa gayi, unka please aap wapas aa jaye madam.
अच्छा वापस. Okay.
Because we are handing you big fat contract to do big fat thing.
ठीक है. Okay.
And I'm like, but I'm making real movie. They're like, we will fund your real movie, please come.
वापस आ जाओ. ठीक.
All right. So I go back
Right.
and I get stuck in New York. And literally the whole pre-production had started, shut down the production. I went away for almost 3 years. 3 years के बाद जब मैं आई, I think Shaan had just had triplets. Literally. And, suddenly it was like the whole thing had to start all over again.
Oh, that'll take care of that.
Exactly. It all had to start all over again. And I decided that the movie needed to be made now. Again, if I don't do it now, फिर एक momentum होता है production का.
Right.
वो रुक जाएगी और फिर ये नहीं बनेगी.
Right.
So I decided to just go completely the independent route.
Okay.
And take all unknowns. All unknowns. Everybody almost was an amateur except for 2 or 3. Rashid Naz, mashallah, was fantastic in it. One or 2 other people who had some theatre background. But 2 mahine ke liye, I made everybody commit to a theatre workshop.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Okay?
Sab baith ke theatre workshop
it was easier for me to get them revved up. Ke kis tarah ki acting hogi is movie ke andar. Rather than beat the acting of, bad dramas at that time out of them.
Right.
It's just easier.
Take it.
And so that's how we ended up with the cast that we ended up with.
In that cast, women had a special role to play.
Yes.
And women in that cast were depicted very differently from women traditionally depicted in Pakistani cinema.
You think, Auntie Shireen, wait till your father gets home, but at
the same time, there was a woman who was shown to be empowered, there's a woman who was shown to be a guide, there was a woman who was shown to be a leading mother, there was a woman who was shown to be a caring partner. So all those elements do come into play. क्या ये मुख्तलिफ नहीं है जिस तरह बाकी आपका पाकिस्तानी सिनेमा दिखाता रहता है ख़वातीन को एक सास बहू the vamp the caring
मैंने इतनी देखी नहीं है
look film theory के अंदर certain set characters जो कि assign हो जाते हैं female roles के लिए and male roles के लिए. Your film doesn't have that. Your film is unique in that way कि उसके roles जो है वो खास से interesting है, like character development.
Because women actually rule Pakistan, you people we let you get away with things. This is the reality. I actually just showed reality. There wasn't anything different than the environment that जिसके अंदर मैं बड़ी हुई हूँ, लाहौर.
So you really believe women in Pakistan rule Pakistan?
Not really, but it's there.
क्या मतलब है?
There isn't. मैंने कुछ इस तरह नहीं लिखा है. I don't think so. You can argue it with me.
Okay.
The male perspective.
ठीक.
The mother meets the peer.
जी.
ठीक है.
जी.
फिर goes into denial.
Right.
ठीक है. That's very typical.
ठीक.
इधर की कहानी.
हाँ जी बिल्कुल.
कि एक hidden family secret जरूर होता है हर family के अंदर.
हर family के अंदर.
So that's all she's doing.
Right.
वो अपना जो रोप तो नहीं जमा रही है. वो बस उन्होंने secret कर दिया है. She's just not telling him. ठीक है ना जब वो कह रहा है पूछ रहा है चीजें कि ये क्या हो रहा है मेरे साथ क्या हो रहा है शी इज जस्ट लाइक मेरा बच्चा इस तरफ नहीं जाएगा.
हाँ but
that's very typical.
The authoritative mother she's going to even try and control the destiny of the child.
And which tell me the ones that don't.
See, that's the whole point. I mean, that's a very typical mother who tries to control the destiny of the child but try to save the child.
Yeah.
हालांकि उसे पता है कि सेव नहीं होना.
नहीं. I think denial was very strong in the mother.
Actually, denial was very strong in the mother. She thought she was able to get away with it.
Yeah. The other one just wants her son to be normal. Remember?
Chale.
She says, "क्यों तुम ये movie craze?" Because the other character was all about acting and what have you. कि तुम क्यों movie craze? तुम्हारी इतनी अच्छी job है.
You are the
That's
director.
very typical.
Since you're the director and the writer, I'll throw a trump card from the viewer.
Yeah.
Atypical role. The guide.
That is
you have a female guide. It's a very atypical role.
Yes.
हाँ, yes. अब शायद हमारी जिंदगी में बुशरा बीबी आ गई हैं जो But you know what I mean? कि the idea of a female guide is still...
I should have seen that coming actually.
No, but here's the idea. Yes, there have been female guides. As Rabia Basri भी थी जो कि बहुत मशहूर
थी,
right?
Exactly.
But it's a very atypical role. How do you feel about playing that or, working with that?
But remember, the original script again,
right?
The guide was male.
Yes, but the twist looks actually a lot better.
Yeah.
It really works.
Actually, I've never thought about it, but I've suddenly... and people have asked me this question before.
Right.
And just because this has happened very recently, that I met her very recently again, there was very wonderful, there is a very wonderful Sufi order, Nur al-Jarahi order in New York City.
Right.
जिनको मैं मिली थी when I had just started work in New York, ठीक है?
ठीक.
And it was an odd happening जो होती है कि somebody told me that there is a mosque in Tribeca.
अच्छा. ठीक.
And उनकी जो शेख हैं,
हाँ.
it's a female sheikh.
अच्छा, उनकी शेखा is a female. ठीक ठीक.
So मैं और मेरे एक दोस्त हमने कहा चलो जाके देखें, because बात करते हैं.
ठीक.
And lo and behold, it's a Turkish order, very well known, very serious intent, and she is female.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah. See, there's a diversity of faith जो कि टर्की में, न्यूयॉर्क में जब कोई नजर आती है, शायद हमें उसे इंटरनेशनल पर्सपेक्टिव से देखें तो नजर आएगी.
मैं आपको एक और कहानी भी बताती हूँ, because this goes into your question about the female guide and why and why not, and having met the sheikha. So I knew them for a couple of years. Okay? And they're a wonderful order, wonderful order.
Right.
जब मूवी बन रही थी, I wanted to record a zikr. और उनका जिक्र, क्योंकि मैंने अटेंड किया हुआ था न्यूयॉर्क के अंदर, is truly beautiful because the Turkish language in the zikr, the pronunciation is truly magnificent. So मैं गई उनके पास, शेख अफारिया के पास, and a couple of other people there. तो मैंने कहा मैं इस तरह मूवी बना रही हूँ, would you let me record the zikr?
अरे वाह.
ताकि मैं actual real zikr record करूँ और फिर मैं मूवी के अंदर डाल दूँ.
ठीक.
And she started laughing. And she's like, you can try.
Okay.
So I said, may I? And she said, yes, but it's just never worked.
Interesting.
Other people have also tried. Tribeca ke andar actual, it's a small mosque, but it's a mosque.
ठीक.
And the other gentleman there told me कि इधर इतनी echo है mosque के अंदर that whenever people try with proper recordings and what have you, sound systems coming in to record, उसके अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा echo आ जाता है. So better you go get a pre-recorded one and pay for the rights and be done with it.
Okay.
Said, all right. Cut to me coming back to Lahore. Ab zikr, my father's best friend was very into not just Sufism, but into me making this movie. So he was literally like a producer on the film. God bless him, he's passed away, Uncle Faisal. Okay? And totally 100% supportive. So he took me to Data Sahab and हम और भी लोगों को मिले, जिक्र भी उनके हमने सुने, the whole works. नहीं मिल रहा था हमें जिक्र. अब मूवी शूट हो चुकी है. And I'm in the sound, music मैं कर रही हूँ and everything. He had an LP of a zikr, which was recorded in the 70s.
Oh wow! Okay.
And it was a Turkish order.
अरे वाह!
And we could not tell what order it was because it was all in Turkish. जो उसकी सारी labeling थी and everything was Turkish, so we couldn't read it.
Right.
But it was magnificent. 45 minutes. And आप वो उसको सुने तो आपको ऐसा लगता है कि you literally are right there in the room. It is that well done, that recording.
Right.
So he's like, you should get the rights to this. उसको डाल. वो डाल दिया मैंने, rights ले लिए.
Perfect.
French company थी. हो गया. Cut to the movie coming out. I'm in a cinema and I'm doing a Q&A in New Mexico. And movie khatam ho gayi hai. I'm sitting on stage, with this moderator. And I can hear that there are women in the audience crying.
Crying?
And there's a whole, and I can't really see because again, that's why I'm wearing sunglasses because I've done this so many times with lights and stuff.
Right.
And I really can't see from the stage, but I can hear it. Not sobbing, just somebody's become very emotional and they're sniffling.
Okay.
And it's a whole bunch of them.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, I mean, the movie doesn't end, it's not supposed to make you cry.
Right.
Or, whatever. Anyway, khatam hua. Suddenly all these women surrounded me. They were Turkish, they were French, there were some African Americans, there were white American women. There were 5, 6 of them.
Right.
And they came and they grabbed my hand. And they said, thank you so much for using our Sheikh's voice in your movie.
Oh.
And I said, what are you talking about? We are from Nur al-Jarahi order. And that is Sheikh Mustafa in the movie doing the zikr. It is the same order I went to say कि मुझे रिकॉर्ड करने दें न्यूयॉर्क के अंदर.
अरे वाह.
It was the same orders zikr.
Wow.
I had no idea.
And it came back full circle to you.
It came out full circle. Without knowing, जिसको मैंने अप्रोच किया था कि आपका जिक्र मैंने डालना है, वही
मिल गया. वो अगर आप सच में तलाश करें, I'm sure आपको मिल जाएगा जब ढूंढ रहे हैं.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So when you sought help for this movie, who came forward first?
In what sense specifically?
Like assistance के लिए आपको कि हाँ यार फिल्म बननी चाहिए, ये फिल्म अच्छी है, या इसका आइडिया अच्छा है.
इधर?
हाँ जी, पाकिस्तान में.
सुना था कि बहुत सी बेट्स लगी थी कि इससे बनेगी नहीं. I mean, there were a lot of people. Okay,
Right.
friends and family के अंदर बहुत लोग थे, बहुत support थी. Shaan was a wonderful resource, very supportive. Even when he wasn't part of the production, he kept going like, "You've got to do this. You've got to do this."
Right.
So there was support because people did at that point movies. भाई इस तरह की movies नहीं बन रही थी. The new cinema had not started.
अभी तो कोई नहीं बनी ऐसी. आपकी बनी, इसके अलावा कौन सी बनी?
नहीं. I mean, after my movie came out, other movies have come out, which are of international caliber.
A film that seriously tackled Sufism.
No.
Okay.
That actually, interestingly enough, when the film got sold, uske rights bick gaye, and it has been sold to about 70 countries.
ठीक.
And very sad that this is the only country jidhar isko theatrical release nahi mili.
Right.
Meaning, wo bhi different kahani hai.
Right. Right.
You are right about that because I did so many rounds. The film became a big hit on the university circuit.
And the what circuit? It went to Cannes, it went to
No, wo to ho gaya.
Right.
But very specifically, I'm bringing up the universities because the professors of Islamic history and Islam said this is one of the few movies that tackles Sufism in a fictionalized depiction on screen. इस तरह का mystical experience actually fiction के अंदर बहुत कम मिलता है film के ऊपर. Yeah, that I agree with.
So why do you think nobody has ever आपके अनल हक कहने के बाद किसी और ने क्यों नहीं कहा?
No, I think there have been other movies now.
Can you give me an example?
I can't think of an example. It's odd. It's true. It's odd.
It is, but I can't think of a film on Sufism or a film that relates to these topics in any serious sense. Like
documentaries बहुत हैं. There are a lot of documentaries.
Documentaries तो बहुत हैं. अजमेर पे documentaries हैं. दाता दरबार पे documentaries हैं.
Yeah.
But nobody seriously, talks about the mystical aspects of it or treats them in a more sensitive light. वो खत्म हो गया. Like I don't think maybe it takes too much courage to do that. और अब कोई करने वाला रहा नहीं.
Well, I was accused of being a CIA agent.
Seriously?
Yes. In an open forum. In
you
New York.
Were accused of being
in New York.
Hold on. So after your film was screened, somebody stood up and said that you were a CIA agent.
आप इतनी positive ये जो Sufism कर रही है ये CIA try कर रही है to ram it down our throats. So how much are they paying you? Yeah.
Is that the perspective of the Pakistani diaspora?
It was very diverse. I want to give a shout out to all of the university students at that time, Pakistani Students Associations. Unke baghair, this movie would not have had the long shelf life and the constant screenings across not just the US but internationally. Unke baghair ye ho hi nahi sakta tha. They were so excited to see a movie from Pakistan that they could show their friends, their colleagues, their professors, everybody, that they went the 100 miles for this film.
Right.
And I think the ball started rolling with the Brown Students Association. They invited me.
Right.
And, put me up in like fabulous accommodation.
Right.
पूरा उन्होंने 4 दिन के seminars भी कराए मेरे से, Q&As भी कराए, बहुत से लोगों को मैं मिली, everything. And the next thing I know, that just took on its own life. The next screening I did was in Stanford. And I became literally a paid speaker on the university circuit. And they were absolutely 100% behind me.
And the diaspora actually supported कि भाई अच्छा है, अच्छा scene है पाकिस्तान से.
Well,
That's my question.
Then there were the
See,
uncles. Then there were the uncles who showed up at the
See,
screenings.
uncles ke alawa, there's a lot of material about this film online.
Yeah.
Like, how did you? There was a lot of trolling. There's a lot of questions. Kya hua tha? What was that? How did that make you feel? Like, बुरा ही लगा आपको कि यार, आप Pakistan supporting us?
Nobody is ever prepared to be public and famous. There is no guidebook for that.
Oh, there's no guidebook for that.
The first time you're standing under the lights,
Bilkul.
and you have, blood, sweat and tears, and your cast has done blood, sweat and tears, and your production team has done this, and you have made an actual movie.
Right.
And people are standing there and say, "Sharam nahi aati hai aapko? Sharam kare."
How did
Ye
that make
dikha
you
rahe
feel?
hain hum.
Yes. How did that
Ye
make you
dikha
feel?
rahe hain. Acha, they didn't go there to the religion thing. They went more कि ये पाकिस्तान नहीं है. पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो poverty है आप वो क्यों नहीं दिखा रही हैं? ओ भाई वो दूसरी मूवी होगी. This is not that movie. Like there was an utter disconnect for some people.
Okay.
And all they cared about, what the scenes. It's a modern Pakistan. It's contemporary Pakistan. Right? Because they couldn't connect to it. And this is very interesting to me. Ye baar ho. And it was always gentlemen, usually gentlemen, who were in their 60s at the time, 60s, 70s, who had actually not been to Pakistan in 20 years. Immigrant experience.
Right.
And they have not returned to Pakistan for a visit. So then I met an Iranian woman, a young woman, who had seen the movie. And she had been witness to one of these exchanges. Aren't you ashamed?
Right.
She came up to me and she said, "My father does the same thing to Iranian filmmakers." I said, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You must understand, my father has not been to Iran in 30 years. So the Iran in his head is 30 years ago.
Right.
So this gentleman who was screaming in the audience at you, trying to condescend down to you, वो उन्होंने अपने दिमाग में एक पाकिस्तान रखा हुआ है जो 20-30 साल पहले है.
ठीक.
और उनको पता नहीं है कि पाकिस्तान has changed.
Pakistan modernized हो रहा है. Are we recovering from Zia?
Absolutely.
Slowly?
No.
Quickly?
We have.
We have recovered from Zia.
Yeah.
आपको पता है पाकिस्तान इस वक्त जेंडर इक्वालिटी इंडेक्स में
yes.
आपको पता है पाकिस्तान इस वक्त माइनॉरिटीज के do you know the data?
I know all the statistics and everything.
पिछले 5 साल में डेटा
नहीं चाहिए. I am not a data scientist. I'm not working for the UN. I don't work for an NGO. I don't. There's a lot of problems.
Right.
There are a lot of problems in this country. There are a lot of problems in the Americas right now. Okay. Like what's happening there ain't like a joke right now. But I always try to bring it down to मेरा अपना जो personal experience है. To have grown up under Zia. And the fact that I can dress like this now.
Right.
ठीक है. Right. And nobody has a problem with it in Lahore.
Nobody.
जब मैं आती हूँ, because I don't come every year. मैं आती हूँ once in 5 years. ठीक है. फिर मैं आके आराम से इधर 1 साल 2 साल type of and I like to interact with the students.
Right.
बहुत से बच्चे मिले मुझे. बहुत सी both male females who have come to me.
Right.
The interaction between them, the interaction with me, the kind of thought, the kind of questioning they're doing, the businesses start कर रहे हैं.
Right.
There has been huge progress, bhai. There has been. I have to look at it from that angle also.
Ayesha, ये भी मुझे कहा जाता है कि जो पाकिस्तान प्रोग्रेस हुआ है ये सिर्फ पाकिस्तान के लिबरल एलीट का हुआ है. The 1% have gotten richer in Pakistan.
Okay, great. Let me tell you a story.
Okay, tell me.
So, after the movie had come out, there is a very wonderful organization called the Doris Duke Foundation.
ठीक.
उन्होंने फिर हमें approach किया pilot program के लिए. Then they went and did it with a lot of Muslim countries. We were the first one, Pakistan. They took my films and a Kabal group, Saifuddin वगैरह कराची से, Arif Lohar, and I think that was it. There was 3 of us in this program. And they sent us to the backwaters of America.
अच्छा.
On tour for close to 3 to 4 months. इसके ऊपर documentary भी बनी है.
ठीक.
following us, interacting with the ये जो सारा audience था
Right.
अमेरिका के अंदर. So I end up in Montana. I've forgotten the name of the college. जिधर literally the whole audience उस auditorium के अंदर सिर्फ there's white Americans. And maybe one African American, maybe 2 or 3 African Americans. Literally, it's just white Americans.
Right.
And jab movie khatam hui, everybody clapped and whatever. But one brown man, young man, was standing, clapping like there's no tomorrow. Okay. And saying, "This is Pakistan. This is Pakistan."
देखिए जी, सूफीज़म का एक टेनेंट है कि जो बंदा अपने बातिन की खबर नहीं रखता वो औरों की खबर क्या रखेगा. Like we're not really sure कि हमारी the point is I want to be hopeful, I want to be positive about Pakistan, मगर मसला ये है कि बातिन जो obvious नज़र आ रहा है आपको, जो जाहिर है पाकिस्तान का, वो आपको मिलता है आपके डेटा से, और डेटा शो कर रहा है कि आप हर इंडिकेटर भी नीचे जाए जा रहे हैं. Somebody should pull a handbrake, कुछ करना पड़ेगा, एजुकेशन पे जोर दें. We have to do something to make this country take a turn for slightly more towards positive. How can film help us do that?
It can't.
Why not?
To tell you.
यार Battleship Potemkin, like I mean, music ने revolutions लाई हुई है.
I'm kidding. That's just my bitterness talking. ठीक है? नहीं.
Are you bitter?
No. I was kidding. Okay. I'll actually tell you.
I wouldn't blame you if you were. Like seriously, the way Pakistan
movie
treats
बनाई
its
और
heroes.
movie पाकिस्तान में नहीं लगी.
ज़्यादती की बात है कि नहीं है?
70 countries में लगी है.
बिल्कुल.
इधर नहीं लगी. ठीक है? क्यों नहीं लगी? क्योंकि distributors जो है उन्होंने कहा इतनी अच्छी मूवी. आप किधर से आई हैं? कौन है?
Right.
आप लाहौर की हैं?
Right.
They're all from Karachi.
अच्छा, ठीक है.
I did not know this. That there's a real issue.
लाहौर कराची का इशू है.
Oh yeah.
Film distribution का. क्या मतलब? Like if you're from
No. मेरा तो time, forget it. It wasn't just the Lahore Karachi issue. My issue, I think, was that कौन है भैया आप?
अच्छा, ठीक है. अब न्यूयॉर्क से कैसे टपक पड़ी यहाँ पे, right?
इसको तो निकालो इधर से. That type of attitude.
क्या
Because I had met all of them.
Okay.
सबने देखी है.
ठीक.
सबने देखी थी. और सबने कहा था कि मूवी बहुत अच्छी है. एक ने कहा I shouldn't name them because I'm here. पीछे ही ना पड़ जाए मेरे. एक ने कहा मुफ्त दें हमें, हम आपको फेमस कर देंगे इधर. भाई पैसे नहीं लगे मूवी बनाते हुए.
मुफ्त में सिर्फ बंदे को सिर्फ थैंक यू कह सकते और कुछ नहीं कह सकते.
एक जो है उन्होंने कहा बिल्कुल मैं कर दूंगा and then suddenly realize ये तो लाहौर की है. Why should I?
ये क्या बायस है लाहौर कराची का?
It is, and it's very real, and it is really terrible.
मैंने सुना है मॉडल से कि यार ये लाहौर के जो
it's terrible. I find it really ridiculous, and it's not true people to people. Institutionally ये issues चल रहे हैं.
Institutionally
चल रहे हैं. Because now I'm just going to say it. I'm sorry. Movies किधर बनती हैं?
लाहौर में? हाँ. Lollywood. तो कराची में ड्रामास बन रही हैं.
Pre-partition movies किधर बन रही थी? लाहौर में.
ठीक.
3 movies जो अच्छी आई हैं, like not the year before last, 3 movies did come out, which I'm very thrilled about. Very thrilled about. Because that is why I made Kashf. So that it continues and other movies come out. It took a long time. I thought it would be done in like 5 years. It's taken this long, 15 years.
Right.
Maula Jat.
Right.
Bilal actually did pick up shots for me after my Gora crew had left. He had just come out of San Francisco.
Right.
My God, he'd just come out of San Francisco Film School. Okay. And my producer brought him because we suddenly realized कि हाय अल्लाह B-roll तो time ही नहीं था, B-roll नहीं है.
Right.
You know, we have to go back to the inner city and all that. And the camera was very complicated. Okay, it wasn't everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
Because we were using lensing.
Right. A film shoot कर रहे हैं, you're making a production. Right?
So Bilal Saab comes. And I'm explaining the camera ke dekh lo, and we are exhausted. The producers and I are exhausted. We shot the entire film 29 days ke andar.
Oh wow.
29 days done. Pura crew New York se aaya hua tha, sound bhi, cinematographer bhi, gaffers, everybody.
Right.
They had left.
Oh wow.
theek hai, they had gone. And Bilal looks at the camera, haan ji theek hai. I said, you can use this camera. Yeah, I can figure it out. I'm like, let's go. He just looked at me and was like, what do you mean? I said, we're going. We're to shoot. We didn't know. He's like, do you have the job? I'm like, what job? We're going to shoot.
I know. ठीक.
So we just went and, shot, and
Right.
he did a wonderful job.
Right.
And then we actually shot a music video of एक जो गाना था ख्याल,
Right.
उसका फिर music video बिलाल ने shoot किया था.
अच्छा.
He was the director of photography, and we shot it on 35 millimeter in 45-degree weather in Qatar. God. That shoot was a nightmare. But Bilal was great. Acha, Montage came out.
Right.
Joyland. Wonderful movie. Even Shaan's latest one जो अभी इन्होंने बनाई थी ज़रार. Shoot 'em up,
Right.
Hollywood level.
ठीक.
Fantastic.
Right.
Now we can make movies like this. We can make movies in every genre.
आपके ख्याल में पाकिस्तान कोई mystery, sci-fi, detective?
We can do all of them. We have no cinemas.
What happened to the cinema industry in Pakistan?
Ziaul Haq decided कि वो जो 1,000 cinemas थे उनको बंद कर दें.
ज़ियाउल के बाद भी कोई ज़्यादा recovery तो नहीं है हमारी. I mean, Zia's been dead for what 30 years now.
नहीं हुई because okay we can blame कि government बदलती रही, उन्होंने किसी ने infrastructure नहीं किया. That I actually do want to address. ठीक है?
Right.
From the standpoint जो आप कहते हैं कि film change ला सकती है, नहीं ला
Right.
सकती, whatever.
Right.
Iranians को देखो.
Good, yes.
Every year at the Cannes Film Festival, including the year I went
Right.
with Kashf,
Right.
there is an Iranian film in one of the sections winning awards.
बिल्कुल जी.
आप जितना भी अमेरिकन प्रोपेगेंडा ईरान के ऊपर कर दें,
Right.
वो लोग उधर बैठ के उनको अवार्ड्स दे रहे हैं क्योंकि उनकी मूवीज इतनी फैबुलस हैं
होती है जी. गाला फिल्म
और वो गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट से बनती हैं.
बिल्कुल.
फ्रेंच सिनेमा गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट से बनता है.
बिल्कुल.
ठीक है.
German cinema.
जर्मन सिनेमा
Right.
गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट से बनता है. बॉलीवुड is probably the greatest PR machine for India. Barna.
देखिए जी, Bollywood has helped India give a soft image.
Correct.
Bollywood has helped India rise, present itself जो इंडिया का विजन अपने लिए वो अपने लोगों को दे रहे हैं.
Yeah.
इंडिया प्रोग्रेसिव है, इंडिया राइजिंग है, इंडिया में
Yeah.
हिंदू मुसलमान सिख ईसाई सब इकट्ठे काम कर रहे हैं.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that in Pakistan?
I don't know.
मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ जी, you are a filmmakers, आप हमारे मुल्क के असासे हैं.
देखिए शुरू ये जर्नी उधर से ही हुआ था काश्फ. It wasn't just about कि ये मूवी specifically Sufism whatever.
Right.
The idea was back to why I left, right? United World College. One of the biggest mandates उस high school का जिधर scholarship मिली थी कि आप एक ambassador की तरह जा रहे हैं उधर to represent your country.
Right.
88 different countries के साथ.
Right.
लेकिन मैंडेट थी कि फिर आप वापस भी जाके अपने मुल्क के लिए कुछ करेंगे.
Right.
ठीक है. So even though न्यूयॉर्क बेस्ड हूँ, ठीक, that mandate was still in your head कि आपने अपने मुल्क के लिए जरूरन कुछ करना है.
कुछ ना कुछ करना. Right.
Film, why I chose medium of film because वो मेरा background है both theater and film के अंदर. And I felt कि and forget this image, forget that. Soft image, whatever. Please, you can't sell anything. Those are PR companies in Washington DC. जो lobby firms होती हैं, उनको आप hire करें और क्या हमारा image change करो.
बना दो, ठीक है.
That's fine. But हमें अपनी कहानियाँ खुद बतानी है. वो कोई हमारे लिए नहीं बता.
हमारी कहानियाँ हैं कौन सी?
हमारी कहानियाँ बहुत हैं. There's a lot of tales to tell.
हीर रांझा?
ठीक है. नहीं.
ससी पुन्नू?
नहीं.
कौन सी कहानी?
भाई, just look at the women's movement in this country.
Is there a tale to be told there?
There is a tale to be told there. There is a tale to be told. Remember, I'm only 33. I'm a baby in diapers at that time.
Right. Challenge. There's stories to be told. Do you think anybody has courage enough in Pakistan to make a movie on Asma Jehangir today?
I would in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
और फिर वही होगा कि आप दुनिया के 70 मुल्कों में से रिलीज कर देंगी.
इतना नहीं रिलीज. That's actually a very brilliant idea.
क्या मतलब? How's that a brilliant idea?
No, to do a movie on her. There should be a movie on her. There should be a documentary on her. There should be an actual fictional film
India
on
has
her.
made a movie about Bal Thackeray. Why don't you make a movie about our revolutionary? कि भाई Asma Jehangir के बारे में बनाए.
Darling, it ain't that easy to make movies. It takes a lot of money.
Of course it does. यार, if I had the
पैसे नहीं देने को तैयार.
If I had the
Let's
money
talk
to
about
make a
money.
movie.
No, because ये जब बच्चे आते हैं सारे, they all want to be filmmakers.
Right.
They come and ask me कि अगर ये हो जाए, इसको कर लो, उसको डाल लो, whatever. That's not it. Movie making, शुक्र है अब तो it's become much cheaper. अब तो आप अपने iPhone के साथ मूवी बना सकते हैं. But you can make it.
Digital media.
वो भी मैं उनको कहती हूँ कि just do it.
Just do it.
Back in the day, आपको कोई पहली मूवी के लिए कोई पैसा नहीं देता था.
Of course.
ठीक
yes.
है? All the endeavors at that point were self-funded, or there was Lollywood, और वो एक set standard चल रहा था. You know what kind of movies were coming out of that. Now the problem, actually, on a very business level of show business, there are not enough screens.
How do you mean not enough screens?
वाकई नहीं है, क्योंकि हमने पहले होते ना वो stand alone screens, ठीक है ना, जिधर शान साहब की 500 मूवीज लग चुकी हैं, जिधर ऑडियंस जा रहा है, because he has a mass following.
Right.
वो जा रहे हैं, टिकट 100 रुपए का था, 50 रुपए का था, you know, you might know better what the price was.
Right.
But the ordinary public could afford to go to the cinema.
ठीक.
वो सिनेमा बंद हो गए सारे.
ठीक.
Real estate prices went up.
Right.
We have to talk real estate here.
Right.
वो बन गए, you know, malls बन गए, या आप किसी ने बिल्डिंग लगा दी उधर, या वो हाउसिंग सोसाइटी बन गई. फिर बने मल्टीप्लेक्सेस जिधर हम जाके अपना पॉपकॉर्न भी खाते हैं और प्यारी सी सीटों पे बैठते हैं, whatever. 3000 का टिकट है.
वो एक उन्होंने क्लास चेंज कर दिया सिनेमा की.
Yeah.
ठीक है.
Screens count करके भी I think there couldn't be more than 40. 40 screens के साथ हम क्या करें? मूवी बना कैसे सकते हैं? That those screens are competing. Competition जो है आपकी हॉलीवुड से भी आ रही है.
जी.
और भी मूवीज लग रही हैं.
इंडोनेशिया से फिल्म्स आ रही हैं.
इंडोनेशिया से टर्किश कोई मूवी आ जाएगी.
बिल्कुल डब होके आ जाती है.
आपकी एक मूवी है, उसको 2 हफ्ते में भी मिल जाएंगे. Word of mouth नहीं build हो सकता. I mean, how much can you can't make money.
Oh, so it's a money losing business.
You actually cannot make money. However,
okay.
I don't want to say government because that sounds so foolish. I want to actually address the diaspora. The Pakistani diaspora is very well to do.
Right.
Charity पे वो दबादब पैसे
देते हैं.
दबादब देंगे and very generously.
Right.
And always will open their wallets.
Right.
आप उनको कहें जरा आप आर्ट्स को सपोर्ट करते हैं.
देखिए जी, आर्ट्स वैसे भी इस्लाम के खिलाफ है. हम कैसे सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं इन चीजों को?
Can't be done.
हमसे पूछा जाता है ये मुल्क आपने इसलिए बनाया था कि फिल्में बनाएंगे. देखिए, honestly, I mean, I am sure there is a bit of opposition to filmmaking in Pakistan as well.
You think?
Have you felt that? No, I'm sure there is, but have you felt that?
No. Interestingly enough, so female director.
Right.
The crew, I had 40-person crew.
Right.
All men.
Right.
I'm the only female on set, apart from the mothers and, you know, jo extras.
Right.
Females there as extras or whatever. And जैसे मेरा Lollywood, I call them the Lollywood crew, because एक lighting package था in town, जो commercials के लिए use होता था.
Right.
एक package था पूरे लाहौर के.
ठीक.
And जब हमने उनको book किया लाइटों को, पहले तो उन्होंने कहा हम आपको नहीं दे रहे हैं.
ठीक.
And I think Shaan had to step in or somebody के real movie बना रहे हैं, please.
ठीक.
उस lighting package के साथ उन्होंने 40 आदमी भेज दिए.
अच्छा, प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए.
To protect the lights.
ठीक
है. I was like, मैंने फोन किया फिर ओनर को, मैंने कहा भाई वो तो केटरिंग ही मेरी बजट का आ जाएगी. 40 आदमी नहीं आप भेज सकते. आप मुझे भेजें 10 लोग, 7 या 10 लोग भेजें और वो टाइम पर आए. फर्स्ट टाइम जब उन्होंने लेस कर दिया नंबर एंड वाज 10 पीपल, वो लोग कोई घंटा लेट आए. एंड यू नो यू आर चेसिंग द लाइट. So our day would start at 7:38.
Right.
You had to be on call there, ready to go to the location, you know, because you're shooting the daylight.
Right.
And Jesse, you know, then you have to
golden hour time manage करना सही.
घंटा लेट आए तो मैं मीटर घूम गया मेरा.
Right.
And my DP also stood there. We both stood there. We were like, what? ये आप क्या कर रहे हैं? मैंने कहा ये भी बहुत अपसेट है, मैं भी बहुत अपसेट हूँ, तो आप फिर ले जाएं लाइटिंग पैकेज. मैं फिर डे लाइट के अंदर ही शूट कर लेती हूँ सारी.
ठीक.
आपकी जरूरत ही नहीं है.
Right.
कि ये मूवी बन रही है, ये मजाक है. The next day, then people show up exactly on time, 15 minutes before call time.
ठीक.
But they are different.
Okay.
अब मैं कहूँ ये क्या कर रहे हैं ये लाइटिंग वाले, बार बार तो you can't keep changing people ना. फिर वो प्रोटोकॉल्स जो सेट किए होते हैं वो.
Right.
मैंने कहा वो किधर हैं जो कल आए थे? मैम बॉस हम ही हैं. शलवार कमीजें gone, दाढ़ियां gone.
Okay.
उन्होंने पैंट सूट पहने, like wearing what you should be properly wearing at a thing.
Right.
Flannels because it was cold. Sweatshirts. They were completely westernized.
Right.
They had haircuts, clean shaven, on time. कि अब हमें समझ आ गई कि रियल मूवी बन रही है, हम आपके साथ हैं. ये मूवी हम बना ही रख के बनेगी ही बनेगी.
Right.
They were my backbone of the production.
So if you get the right people, productions can happen.
No, when you give people the right motivation. Suddenly they saw these people were serious.
Right.
This was a serious movie. And they had an opportunity to learn. And I learned a lot from them.
What did you learn from them?
I'll tell you very specifically. Remember वो Ali के जो scenes हैं, जब वो खेतों के अंदर गाना गा रहा है, which is very subversive, right?
Right.
Because the Maula Jat character कभी नहीं dance करता.
It's a homosocial sort of.
नहीं dance कर सकते. No, it's got nothing to do with that either.
Okay,
it's
all right.
just the reason I did it like that. गाना था कि मौला जट कभी नाचता नहीं है.
Right.
हमेशा औरत जो है
अंजुमन नाच रही है और
वो नाच रही है and वो sullenly देख रहे हैं.
Right, exactly.
Right? So I wanted to invert that.
I see.
Okay, let him. It's a fantasy.
Of course,
right?
it is.
He's
He can do whatever he wants. Yes.
He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to dance around in
He can
the
dance.
fields, let him dance in the fields.
Right.
उस गाने के एंगल देखें. वो एंगल सारे मेरे लॉलीवुड क्रू ने मुझे बताए थे.
Right.
मैम कैमरा इधर से एंगल ले. ये शॉट zoom करें, zoom.
Right.
That all I learned from them because they had shot
Lollywood.
100 films. They knew how to make it look authentic.
When you talk about the authentic Lollywood film,
Yeah.
what's your best example of authentic Lollywood?
Maula Jat.
The classic or
The classic. And this one also. I think Bilal knocked it out of the ballpark. It's wonderful. I loved it. Did you see it?
I did.
You did not love it.
I liked it. I loved Faris's performance.
Which one?
Faris's performance. I think he was brilliant. I think the mise en scène was brilliant.
Yeah.
The cinematography and the location selection was amazing.
Amazing.
Rotas Fort, Eton College,
Yeah.
certain locations, the lighting, perfection.
Yeah.
Again, I'm no one to criticize the film, but I think the action sequences could have used a little more polish.
ठीक है.
But यार पाकिस्तान की production है, knowing कि पाकिस्तान ने बनी और कितने सालों बाद एक अच्छी production आई है, brilliant, amazing.
मैं तो 2 दफा
2 thumbs way up.
Yeah.
Amazing, great stuff.
Yeah.
ये बताइए जी कि जो सूफी culture आपने experience किया लाहौर में throughout this journey, did you find the same Sufi culture in India or was it different?
No, India. हाँ, very interesting. I did go. उनका जो एक बहुत main shrine है उधर मुंबई के अंदर.
ख्वाजा हाजी अली.
हाँ.
हाजी अली.
उधर I did go.
ठीक है.
Literally the same. It felt the same as being in Lahore.
क्या मतलब same as being?
The only difference, the only tiny difference, cultural difference was that women were in jeans and their heads weren't covered.
लड़कियां jeans में आई हुई थी दरगाह पे.
हाँ.
अगर पाकिस्तान में लड़की jeans पे दरगाह पे जाने की कोशिश करे क्या होगा उसके साथ?
At this point, I wonder अगर कुछ होगा. I don't think अब कुछ
जरा
होगा.
बेहतर हो गए हालात.
हाँ. अब I think नहीं कोई प्रॉब्लम होगी.
अभी टेक्सास में खबर आई थी कि एक मौलाना साहब ने एक लड़की को मस्जिद से निकाल दिया तो वो जीन्स पहन के आई हुई थी.
Darling, I won't name the foundation that was started by very wonderful, liberal, well, not even liberal, okay, very hopeful, optimistic Pakistani women in New York. And they went to the diaspora outside of New York, Texas, and Midwest के अंदर, US के अंदर. उन्होंने कहा कि आप हमें support करें, हम पाकिस्तान के इमेज के लिए काम करेंगे. This is not me, I'm not talking about myself. I know this story.
ठीक.
पाकिस्तान के इमेज के लिए काम करेंगे और आप लोग हमें सपोर्ट करें financially. We want to do this and we are very sincere about it. उनका जरूर हम आपको पैसे दे देंगे because the diaspora is pretty well to do. हम आपको सपोर्ट करेंगे. आप स्लीवलेस नहीं पहन सकते.
क्यों?
This is America. And you're worried about somebody saying कि jeans ना पहने मॉस्क के अंदर.
क्या ये कोई खास मसला है डायस्पोरा?
ये एक खास पाकिस्तानी मेल शोविनिज्म है. That's it.
क्या मतलब?
It is very peculiar to Pakistani males
Pakistani
to control what a woman should dress as.
Yeah, Pakistani men ka dimag kharab hai.
Hey, I don't know what it is.
No, ye chakkar kya? Like, is it the particular chauvinism which exists only amongst the Pakistani men, not amongst American men or Canadian men or Indian men?
I actually don't know. Why don't you answer that question?
I can't. I'm just a man.
Tell me.
I'm just a man. I wish I could answer that question. मुझे तो सिर्फ पूछा था मैं डॉक्टर बंगश से, उन्होंने मुझे कहा था कि पाकिस्तानियों का डीएनए खराब है. Like a manufacturing defect लगता है उनको.
नहीं.
I couldn't find a real answer for this.
But now I see a lot has changed. NCA जाती हूँ मैं, माल रोड के ऊपर भी लड़कियों ने, they're wearing what they're comfortable in.
Right.
And a lot has, हमारे टाइम के अंदर आपकी शलवार कमीज was all the way, आपकी कमीज was down to your ankle.
Right.
It had to be.
Right.
और अगर आप मेन मार्केट चले जाते दुपट्टे के बगैर, you were asking for it.
Right.
कोई ना कोई ज़िया का goon would be there.
Right.
से दुपट्टा क्यों नहीं पहना हुआ?
क्या आपसे भी पूछा क्या था लाहौर में दुपट्टा क्यों नहीं पहना हुआ?
Absolutely.
How'd you react?
आपको क्या है?
Good.
We didn't, I have to say, the women of that time did not cave. They actually would say, aapko kya hai? But that was a different time.
It was a very different time.
मैं कसूर गई हूँ 2 years ago.
Right.
With a male, very close friend of mine, family friend. हम लोग गए बाबा बुल्ले शाह. There was 3-4 of us. And मैंने चादर पहनी हुई थी, obviously. And azan hui and we were in the bazaar. We had come out of the Shine bazaar ke andar the. I think the chadar must have slipped. एक आदमी आए, unknown, ajnabi, don't know him. उनका अपना सर ढक लें.
Okay.
Absolute authority to be able to tell a strange woman,
right.
मुझे तो नहीं जानते ना,
right.
कि आप अपना सर ढक लें.
बदतमीजी है.
आप देख क्यों रहे हैं मुझे?
Yes. क्यों देख रहे हैं? नजर नीचे रखिए अपनी भाई.
It's just peculiar. It's just is. I don't know how to explain it.
It's like they believe it's a responsibility कि उन्हें माशरे को सही करना है, या they have to fix what they see is wrong, जो उनकी नजर में गलत है.
But I wonder कि ये change कैसे नहीं हो रहा, because on TV you are basically, अब तो सब कुछ नजर, भाई हमारा इतना censored था TV.
Right.
Back in the day.
किस ज़माने में?
अब तो मैं शॉक में चली जाती हूँ. I'm from New York. ये क्या दिखा रहे हो भाई? इसको हटाओ. No.
Do you think there's a chance for a Indo-Pakistan cooperative movie on Sufism? कोई chance है कि पाकिस्तान इंडिया मिलके कोई Sufism के ऊपर फिल्म बनाए?
Well, Shahrukh wanted to be in my movie, but अब तुम लोगों ने इतनी problems कर दी हैं.
देखिए जी, अब तो वीज़े भी नहीं मिल रहे, कोई बातचीत ही नहीं हो रही, क्या करें जी? I don't think शाहरुख खान साहब कार्ड्स पड़ेगा यहाँ.
Oh, so no, back to the distribution issues here and whatnot. So a lot of people like myself who are living abroad and who are filmmakers, unfortunately, we've had to quit thinking कि इधर हम आके movie बनाएंगे. हम movies बना रहे हैं. I'm working on scripts. I've got 3 scripts optioned right now. ठीक है?
Right.
And my next film is not going to be shot in Pakistan. It will be shot in London or LA or whatever the locations are. Right. That's the sadness.
So Pakistani films are not being shot in Pakistan anymore. They're being shot abroad.
No, it doesn't fiscally make sense to me कि मैं इधर आके movie बनाऊं फिर से.
Security.
No, not security. Financially.
It's cheaper to make a movie abroad than it is.
No, इधर की कहानी, like for Pakistan. Consumption.
So you cannot make a film for the Pakistani market. You have to focus on the diaspora, even if you're using Pakistani stories. That is sad, yeah. That means
it's very sad.
इसका मतलब है कि Pakistani narrative तो खत्म ही हो जाएगा.
होना नहीं चाहिए, but that is where we are. I had hoped there would be, by this time, we would be at a point where we would be training the younger generation. But अब we all talk about it, जो let's call us the elders of this particular moment in time of the film industry.
Right.
भाई उनको हम बच्चों को क्या कहें?
क्या कहते हैं?
हम बच्चों को encourage करें, जरूर तुम स्क्रीन प्ले लिखो, तुम मूवी बनाओ, whatever, दिखाएंगे किधर वो?
So आजकल के बच्चे तो फिल्म में ड्रामा पढ़ रहे हैं, उनका क्या फ्यूचर है?
वो YouTube पे लगाएंगे, TikTok पे लगाएंगे, social media.
And
don't take it wrong that be all and end all कि मूवी आएगी, theatrical release होगी, वो सारा structure भी तो change हो रहा है ना. A lot is changing in the world. We don't know what's going to be the impact of AI. Right? We could be, all of us could be done.
Pretty much, yes.
Pretty much be sitting and just consuming जो AI बना रही है हमारे लिए. So a lot is in flux. But I was hoping that 15 years down the road from when Kashf came out,
right,
we would have a thriving industry. 15 years sounds like a long time.
Right.
And I can only point to 3 or 4 other films.
15 साल में पाकिस्तान से सिर्फ 4-5 अच्छी मूवीज आई हैं.
I hope the number is bigger and it's 10.
चले.
But that's not a good number.
No, it's not.
It is not a good number.
What about television output? Is there something you'd be interested in? Would you want to make a TV series?
Yes, I do.
What subject would you pick?
I bought the rights to a book.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Good.
But that again, I'm not sure कि इधर करें or should I take it to a Netflix or an Amazon or a Hulu?
Why not put it on YouTube? बना दे, इधर कर दे.
Darling, पैसे भी चाहिए होते हैं
production. Okay, Netflix तो पैसे ही देने वाले ना बनाने के लिए. Play Store के पहले 2 एपिसोड बना के दिखाओ, कोई पायलट दो मुझे, कोई नजर आए, कोई स्क्रिप्ट
मुझे. But it all depends on who you've cast. Everything is related to cast.
Shahrukh Khan.
Back to Shahrukh.
Who do you think is the best actor in Pakistan right now?
Like actor?
Actor.
I will have to default to only person who supported my film, Shaan.
Who do you think is the best?
No. Wrong answer. Okay. Shaan actually truly is a great actor and so underutilized.
Right.
क्योंकि उस तरह के role ही नहीं आए. Where his acting chops could have been utilized, where it could have been stretched.
ठीक.
Okay. वो नहीं हुआ. Because he's a natural.
Okay. Who has been the greatest actor of all time in Pakistan?
The greatest actor in Pakistan of all time?
Pakistan की 75-year history में, who has been the greatest actor?
That's a very hard choice.
I know my answer.
What is your answer?
Muin Akhtar. I think he was a brilliant actor. He could play characters really well. He played a woman really well. I mean,
he played everything really well.
Yes.
No, that's too hard an answer.
क्या मतलब इस बात का है?
नहीं, वो इतने legendary लोगों का मैं एक निकाल के कहूँ कि ये थे सबसे अच्छे नहीं, ये नहीं.
मेरा opinion है. If you don't want to pick one, you have the choice not to pick.
No, I'm not.
Best director in your view?
In Pakistan? Me. Don't be ridiculous. Asking a director that question, what do you think? Humble types हैं. 40 आदमियों को कह रहे हैं कि ये करना, चुप हो जाओ. Do not talk back, whatever.
I agree. ठीक. If you had to do Kashf again, अगर आप दोबारा इस फिल्म को बनाते, कोई change करते हैं, exactly वही रखते हैं?
That's a very interesting question.
I always ask interesting questions.
Yeah. There's one shot at the end that I missed. We ran out of time.
Okay.
That's the only thing I would change. Like, we went back and forth, the producers and I, should we go back to that shot? And फिर वो जो ending, you've seen the ending, we're not talking about it. It seemed like the आपको ending ठीक लगी थी, Usman, like हो गई.
Right.
But there was one shot I really wanted, and I wish I'd fought for it.
You never know you could start a sequel with that shot.
And that shot was कि the camera is panning, इस तरह करके, बहुत बड़ा wide shot, and a billboard is being picked up.
Right.
And it's Ali. का billboard.
ठीक.
You know what?
Yeah.
That shot I feel like वो मेरे से miss हो गया.
ना उसका ना होना भी देखिए stories इसके अंदर बहुत सारी stories open ended रही.
Yeah.
Which actually points towards a sequel.
Yes. Everybody wants a sequel.
Everybody wants a sequel. Do you plan to make one?
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it here.
You wouldn't do it here?
Would I do it here?
Up to you. You can set it in London. You can set it in Paris. Entirely up to you. You're the creative mind behind it.
But the experience of not being able to show the damn movie in cinemas was not a nice thing. The only time, so movie निकल आई, उधर cinemas में लगी, 2 महीने, 3 महीने के runs हुए उधर. ठीक है. There is a very odd, I don't know, characteristic in Pakistanis. Also, ये भी ज़रा odd experience रहा है कि वो हम putting Lahore and putting Pakistan से अगर उधर कुछ नहीं हुआ तो आप fail हो गए हैं.
क्या मतलब?
If you are not known here,
right?
ठीक है?
Right.
इधर आपके शोशे नहीं हुए हैं.
हाँ.
तो बाहर की दुनिया does not exist.
So the diaspora won't know about you until you're successful in Pakistan.
No, the diaspora knows about the movie because they've seen it.
ठीक. But अगर आप
कौन सा आपने देखी हुई है?
ठीक है.
इधर लोग समझते हैं कि मूवी फेल हो गई.
Okay.
नहीं, that's not even true. They know because Facebook came along and people knew कि
ठीक है.
चल रही है the movie.
Right.
The sadness to me about not being able to get distribution here, and then I just decided not to even pursue it.
Right.
That my stellar cast and my stellar production team
Right.
didn't get their moment in the sun because they live here. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. They didn't get to shine. They
didn't get to shine. मैंने तो हजारों screenings किए हैं, awards जीते हैं उधर. You know, I got to experience the whole जो enchilada होता है,
Right.
which was wonderful because it's really a very little small film.
Right.
And first film. ठीक है ना?
Right.
I got to experience all of that.
Right.
But my cast and crew did not. The only time they got to, 3 years after it had released in the US and all over internationally.
Right.
Again, the bachas, the kids from Lums called me up and they said कि हम पहला film festival शुरू कर रहे हैं Lums के अंदर called Films.
Right.
And we are putting Kashf as the headline movie.
Fantastic.
So I came and we had a big meeting and they said, you know, we are expecting about 350 people
Right.
for this film and it's going to be so exciting. I said, well, I'm inviting all the cast, you know, I'll ask Shaan to come and support us out, blah, blah, blah. The movie screening was delayed for an hour and a half.
Oh, dear God.
At Lums. Okay. Because 5,000 people had shown up and we didn't know what to do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
5,000 people had shown up.
To Lums to see the film.
To see the film.
Right.
They had to open every auditorium on campus to try and accommodate.
Right.
People were standing, people were sitting on the floors of these auditoriums. I mean, it was insanity.
Right.
It was Fashion Week, I think.
Okay.
I remember this very well.
Right.
And everybody's in the audience.
Right.
From Ali Zafar to you name it. Everybody had shown up to support the film, to see the film. कि बनी क्या थी.
Right.
इतनी नई थी ये चीज.
Right.
Okay? It was such a pioneering time. And people were excited and what have you. Fashion Week हो रहा था. उनको पता लगे कि कुछ Lums में हो रहा है. इतने लोग पहुंच गए.
Right.
Fashion Week सब छोड़ के ARY, Geo, you name it. Every channel shows up and starts interviewing me, the cast, you know, all the people there. How was it and what happened?
Right.
Me and my producers are like, okay, we've arrived. 3 years late.
Right.
But we've arrived to the party.
Right.
Not a single channel played the story.
Because you made a film about Sufism.
You think?
I think.
It's very odd.
See, the point is, again, like
it was actually odd.
It's a very touchy subject.
Not a single, and I'm talking कि हर news crew पहुंचा हुआ है अपनी van के साथ.
Right.
हर channel पे.
Right.
किसी ने इतना सा item नहीं डाला.
It is very, very difficult. मेरे ख्याल में अगर आपकी ये फिल्म किसी और चक्कर के बारे में होती, living in New York के बारे में होती, experience of a Pakistani woman, like you've written other stories.
Yeah.
It might have gotten more traction. I really believe that, and there's good reason we haven't released it in Pakistan.
Yeah.
I really believe Pakistan perhaps is not ready for the kind of art that Pakistanis want to make.
Say that again.
Pakistan is not ready for the kind of art that Pakistanis want to make.
No, I don't think so.
Is Pakistan ready for the kind of art that Pakistanis want to make?
I think there is enough stuff being okay. Okay, it could be there is a lot of mediocrity. Okay? There is a lot of mediocrity. But there are people pushing boundaries. There are. Joyland. Joyland is a tiny little movie.
Joyland is a fantastic film.
Is it?
It's a fantastic
tiny little film.
ठीक.
And it, कुछ उसके अंदर इतना नहीं है जो इन्होंने हवा बना दी and they banned it in Punjab and whatever. The sadness, because I just saw the director speak. जब अभी मीरा नायर नहीं आई थी Think Fest के लिए. He was on the stage. And the sadness, I really felt an empathy to him. जब उन्होंने ये कहा कि हर जगह लगी है वो तो it's gone and gotten a major global release and what have you.
Right.
It was shortlisted for the Oscars.
Right.
He said, my biggest upset is कि मैंने पंजाबी की मूवी बनाई और वो पंजाब में नहीं देख सका कोई. And I really felt that. मैंने love letter बनाया लाहौर के लिए और लाहौर ने नहीं देखी except for lovers.
That is a very, very sad thing.
It is. It's heartbreaking.
So again, it comes back to the same point. The art that you've made for Lahore doesn't seem to be ready for it. यहाँ पे उनकी screening की
But
space
जिसने
है.
देखी है वो कभी ये तो नहीं कहते कि मूवी अच्छी नहीं है.
नहीं.
They say
Because-
movie is fantastic.
हाँ, yes. But then again, आपके बड़ी specific market है जिसने इस movie को देखा है. Like Lums का एक specific 1% crowd है.
Oh no, it was insanity.
अच्छा, okay.
It was every tabka you could think of stuffed into those auditoriums.
Okay.
I don't know how they heard about the movie. But what then my assistant and I finally, इतना कैसे लोग आ गए, okay?
हाँ.
What was it?
Right.
बच्चों ने या तो इतनी marketing की, बच्चों ने कहा we were expecting 350 people, they were shocked.
Think.
Facebook.
Oh.
Facebook was very new at the time.
Facebook से एक सवाल याद आता है.
Yeah.
Have you certainly found yourself to become the defender of Islam? Like, अगर आप international forums पे film दिखा रहे हैं, people have asked you to explain what Sufism is or what Sufi Islam is. Does that make you sort of a defender for Islam? कि ये Islam का सही version ये है?
No. I don't get into that, okay? Because this is at the end of the day, it is a story.
Right.
We are storytellers.
Right.
ठीक है? हम एक कहानी बता रहे हैं, आप वो कहानी उस जर्नी के अंदर जा रहे हैं.
Right.
You're experiencing certain things and emotions and feelings
Right.
while you're watching this movie. Most people, actually, why don't I tell you more succinctly people's reaction to the film?
Okay.
Very interesting incident that happened to me.
ठीक.
I was in Santa Fe. Santa Fe is a very big film hub.
Right.
Independent cinema के लिए, and we have a lot of Hollywood productions coming and filming there. So one of the theaters, उधर वो 3 महीने, every 2 weeks they would call me up that we're keeping the film. So many people are coming. So many people are coming. You know?
Right.
So one fine day, it was a packed auditorium. This is about 3 weeks in when the screening. The theater owner called me up and said, "Okay, would you mind coming today?" And because we were packed, it's sold out.
Right.
Why don't you come and do a Q&A at the end?
ठीक.
Okay, it's a very film-friendly community.
Right.
I said, fine. मैं उधर गई, मैंने किया अपना Q&A. But वो पहली time nervousness होती है. After that, you become very good at this. Right? Becomes a habit. I come out and there are these 3 women,
Right.
probably about 15, 20 years older than me. 3 white women, Americans. And they're like, oh my God. Oh my God. And they're giddy. They're so giddy that I'm like, yes.
Okay.
They are like, that was the most phenomenal experience. Because we came to see a movie about oppressed women.
Oh God. Oh God.
Because they thought Kashf, the lifting of the veil,
Right. Okay.
had to be about some oppressed Muslim women.
Right. ठीक.
And they see these 2 men on screen
Right.
having each
Their own experiences.
experiences.
Right.
And they said, didn't you hear us laughing in the cinema? It was the best rip-roaring, cinematic experience we've had.
Okay. That is fantastic. See, the entire point about the film is it is also, in a way, an introduction to Islam for many people who've never seen or, experienced a film about Islam. Especially अगर आप गोरों को दिखा रहे हैं, उनको तो समझ नहीं आने की ये बंदा डांस करते करते एकदम गिर क्या गया.
No. A lot of people, because it is mystical experience at the end of the day becomes like the central theme,
Right.
or let's call it the essence.
Right.
Christianity has it.
Right.
Judaism has it.
Right.
All 3 of the monotheistic religions actually do have a spiritual essence. And a lot of people related to it on that level.
As a spiritual essence.
As a spiritual journey.
You said you finished the film in 29 days.
29 shooting.
Shoot 9 to 9
Editing
days.
took a while.
How long did the editing and the
Long
packaging
time.
take?
Long time. The editing was difficult. Okay, because you're suddenly like, oh my God, ye nahi shoot kiya. Ye nahi hua.
Achha.
And the electricity problems in this country were
Of
not
course.
helping
Oh
the
my
editing.
God.
So
Oh my
then
God. Oh
suddenly
my
I got worried because we had massive hard drives at the time. जिसके
Right.
अंदर ये सब कुछ save होता था, ठीक है?
Right.
And वो जैसी बत्ती जाती थी तो वो कहती थी "Toom," and I would be like, I have lost the movie. I have lost the movie. Okay.
Right.
So half the time we were scared that we were losing the film. So then I left.
Okay.
I actually took my hard drives, carried them by hand, and went back to New York and edited the rest of it there.
Right. So you had to go to New York to edit the film.
Yeah.
Now here's the most important question: if I wanted to see the movie online,
Yes.
how do I go about doing it?
Well, apparently you've convinced me, Usman, that it's time to put it on YouTube. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been very kind. I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for putting up with my
Thanks. Oh,
sunglasses.
not at all,
Really,
not
it is
at all.
a very